Again, excited to get these last 2 games ticked off, just in terms of to reset in the summer. Hopefully we get a full-on EFL record. That would be the cherry on top of what has been an incredible season. But let's not take it for granted. We move to Blackpool. They're going to give us a game. Hopefully we can get those 3 points.
So welcome back to BCFC Royal Blue. Now, there's just 2 games to go for Birmingham City conclude their EFL League One season. We know that we've already won the league. We know now that we've already got the EFL League One points record, but we've still got a target of reaching the overall EFL League record. And in this next game, we play Blackpool away. Now, this is a rearranged fixture from when we were at Wembley, so this is one that we've had to fit in before the end of the season. So we're going to preview the game against Blackpool, and as usual, we'll give our thoughts on Blackpool, maybe a bit of information about Blackpool, and give our thoughts on the starting lineup. So we were hoping to go to Blackpool when it was originally scheduled, weren't we? But midweekers, this is both of us working. It's a bit difficult, so we're going to probably watch it on the TV like everybody else.
Yeah, a bit of a stretch too far on a Wednesday on a Wednesday evening for us a little bit. But yeah, I was really looking forward to it when it was scheduled for the Saturday, because I do like a Blackpool away day. You know,
it's one of the better away days.
It's a fun one. Yeah, I really like the Blackpool ones. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad you referenced the point record, Dad, because I'm going to start it off on a very selfish note and say, now that we're in the position we're in, we're champions, I really want the EFL League record as well. Yeah. And I'm not disrespecting Blackpool and Cambridge, but I think an additional 2 points out of those games isn't unreasonable. But why not go for the full 111, wouldn't it be, if we did win those 2 games? Yeah. But Blackpool are in 9th. They're, at a time of recording, and I don't think there's any games in between this and the game, but they're 11 points behind the playoffs. So again, they've had a very sort of average season, I guess, for Blackpool standards. And they're a very difficult team to figure out, and I guess that's why they finished 9th, because they have some really good results and then they have some really bad results. And I've seen them in a few games, Dad, and they look really good going forward. And then I've seen them in the next game, and their defence is just absolutely diabolical. So they seem to struggle with that level of consistency, Blackpool. But actually, they've had in recent months, they've had a decent run of form, not too bad run of form, but they had. What's ruined their season is, I've got it here, they had a really, really bad sort of October to November, and then a bad December to end of January. And from the end of January, they haven't actually done that bad up until this point. And I think that's why they've climbed back up to 9th. But a very strange team to predict, Blackpool. Of course, we know Steve Bruce very well from being Birmingham City supporters. Yeah. He's kind of that steady, stable manager. But I have no idea what he's going to do against us at the weekend, because, of course, it's kind of a nothing game, really, isn't it? Then in no danger of any sort of side of the table. But as I said, I want that points record, so I hope Chris Davies goes at least semi-strong to end the season.
I think Steve Bruce will try and finish on a high note for Blackpool, because I think they'll probably want to go into next season strong. And I think the problem from looking at their results, to me, there's too many draws.
Yeah,
they've drawn about 17 or 18 games, which is ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, there's one period in the season, which is actually when they, from the 21st of December, they drew 0-0 with Stevenage. Now listen to this. I won't give you the teams, but I'll just give you the draws and losses. So 21st of December, draw against Stevenage, and it was loss. Then draw, win, draw,
right,
win, loss, draw. So in that short period of time, they had virtually all the draws. Yeah. I mean, obviously, there's a big difference, isn't there? I mean, the 2 points is massive between winning games and drawing them, particularly in league football.
It's the difference between finishing 9th and 6th.
Yeah, exactly. So they then convert, maybe 4 or 5 of those draws into wins, and they're
competing for the playoffs.
Challenge for the playoffs. But they've had a really, really strange season. Yeah. I think Steve Bruce, we know he's a good tactical manager. We know he's fairly defensive, because I think we saw that when he was our manager. He does tend to play a 3-5-2 or a 4-4-2, and that can vary. In the last 10 games, they've won 6, drawn 1, and lost 3. That's not bad form. We've won 8.
That's what I mean. 2. Their recent form's been okay.
Yeah. We've won 8 and drawn 2. Obviously, we're top of the league by quite a way, but their home form is disappointing. They're 2/3 down the home form. I did their problem. They're more points away than they have at home. So they've got 29 points at home out of their 21 games. So there's only 8 teams below them that have got a worse home record than that in League One. But their away record is their 5th, 35 points from their 23 games away. They're okay scoring goals. They're the 4th highest scorers. In fact, actually, the top 4 are Birmingham City. We scored 80. Then the Stockport, who scored 69. Then Wickham scored 69. And then Blackpool scored 68.
Yeah.
So
they're decent going forward.
Yeah.
It's the back.
Yeah,
They leak goals left, right, and centre.
mid-table
Yeah.
they've conceded 57 goals in their 44 games. So you are right. They problem like quite a lot of teams we've played this season. I'm thinking like the Peterboroughs of this world that are good going forward, but concede a lot of goals at the back. So I think they're not quite as extreme as the between Peterborough, but if they were to concede less goals, they don't have a problem scoring them. They probably would be a lot better. So again, it's going to be a tough game. I think at their place. I think their motivation. Steve Bruce can say, go out and beat the champions.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's worth reminding ourselves. We've played Blackpool twice this season. So we played them at St.Andrews in between Christmas and New Year. I think it was Boxing Day.
No. Yeah, 0-0 draw.
It was Burton on Boxing Day. I think it was Blackpool the following game a couple of days later. It was 0-0 at St Andrews, and we also played them at their place for the FA Cup. Was it the FA Cup? And we beat them 2-0. Was it, or 2-1?
2-1. They scored late, I think.
They did, yeah. But if we come back to the game at St Andrews for a minute, because obviously that was in the league and that's closer to what we're going to be aligned to. I remember it being a really frustrating game. It was really disjointed. And I think in some ways that was actually credit to Blackpool. And I remember in Steve Bruce's post-match conference, although it was 0-0, he said that was one of the best performances his team had put in all season. Typical of what we'd heard in post-match conferences this season. I totally get that. But I think what I noticed was Blackpool had a very intense high press and they were pressing us very well. And in terms of actually playing football, I mean, who did we play recently? And you went, they were one of the better playing teams in this league. Stevenage, maybe it was. And I think Blackpool were one of the better footballing sides that we'd seen this season. And again, I know they didn't score. I know it was a 0-0. It was a little bit of a disjointed performance from Blues. I get that. But actually, Blackpool aren't a bad side when they turn it on. And I think what the problem is, they are definitely prone to conceding goals at the back. They're prone to conceding late goals as well. So I don't know if there's like a concentration thing at Blackpool. Maybe they like lose a bit of confidence or lose a bit of energy as the game goes on. But yeah, I just remember from that game, their energy, their press, they did really work very, very hard.
Yeah, and I think if Steve Bruce can get them sorted out in the summer and maybe get a few new players in, they could be a proper force next season in this division. I think, I don't know, did Steve Bruce come in partway through the season?
It was at the start.
He was at the start.
If not, it was very early.
Yeah, okay. But sometimes it takes a while to get. But I think with a few signings that they could be a proper force in that division next season. So it's going to be a very close division with the teams that are in it. Just a little bit on their style of play. They do like through balls where they can play them and attacking down the middle. And they will take lots of shots when they get the chance. They, as a strength, they sort of create quite a few goal scoring chances, but I think they struggled against us. It was almost like you mentioned the game at St Andrews, and you mentioned a bit of a frustrating game because it was a little bit like a game of chess. So in most games, they do create scoring chances because our defence is so good. I think we stopped them, but they did the same to us.
Exactly.
They stifled us as well, which is one of them games, you know, when you're just waiting for a spark.
Yeah,
and it's almost like we attack and they stop us. They attack, we stop them, and I think that's very symptomatic. When I've done some research on their strengths and weaknesses, exactly what they try and do. They work really hard as well, which you'd expect for a Steve Bruce team. They like counter-attacks as well, but they are weak at protecting a lead, and they're very weak at defending against long shots as well. So again, maybe a few things to exploit. They've got a few goals in, as we mentioned. I mean, they've got quite a few players that are, you know, within the realm of the top of their goal scoring charts. Ashley Fletcher is their top scorer at the moment in the league with 11. Rob Apter, right winger, he's got 8. Sonny Carey, central midfielder, has got 8. Niall Ennis as well. Now, I'm pretty sure that he was at Plymouth, but I think Plymouth sold him to somebody, and then he's eventually ended up in Blackpool. I don't know whether he's on loan or that, but he's doing okay at the moment as well. As far as assists goes, see, Ashley Fletcher seems to be the danger man, so he's their top scorer with 11, their top assist man with 8 as well. Albie Morgan's got 7 assists with central midfield. Lee Evans, not the comedian, 6.
He's a good player as well. I like Lee Evans.
Yeah, he's 6 assists. Rob Apter 3. So yeah, we know there's goals in the team. I mean, Steve Bruce does like to adjust and vary the team. In the last game that they played, which was at Wigan, which they ended up drawing 1-1 in their last fixture, he played a 4-4-2, and the two up front were Ashley Fletcher and Niall Ennis as well. So that's pretty potent strike force. So our back line need to be on their toes. So yeah, plenty of possible threats there, and I think Steve Bruce will look at this game as an opportunity to test his team, and maybe he'll be thinking now because they can't get relegated, they can't get promoted. So he'll be testing his team to see maybe putting some things in place for what they could possibly do next season as well. So
it's always a good chance, isn't it, in these last few games when you're a team who have nothing to play for, You can try some stuff out. You can test some players in new positions, and also just go for it because you just want to end the season on a high. So I guess he'll go into it that much. But we know for a fact Steve Bruce will have him fired up. He's not going to be a manager who takes his foot off the gas. He's a professional.
Yeah.
He's been in the game a long time, so he's going to have him revved up. So no doubt we'll have a game on our hands. But segue nicely into the Blues team, Dad. I think it's my turn to defence and your turn to do attack. So
Okay.
I've gone for Allsop in goal. I've gone for Cochrane at left back. I've gone for Grant Hanley. I think before I actually do this, Dad, it's worth noting we said in the pre-Mansfield game, because it was the last home game and we were going to be popping the bottles of champagne and lifting the trophy, we thought Chris Davies would go for a full strength team, and he did.
Yeah.
I think he's going to go back to a bit more rotation in this game.
Yeah.
Just being honest, just maybe a feeling, could be completely wrong, but would love to know the Blues fans' opinions on the starting lineup in the comments. But sorry, back to it. Allsop in goal, Cochrane left back, Grant Hanley in centre back. I actually think he's going to give Clara a rest for some reason. I think he's going to go Ben Davies. So I've gone Hanley, Ben Davies, and Samstead at right back.
Yeah, but he rested Clara against Stevenage, didn't he? He was on the bench for Stevenage.
Oh, he did, yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
Maybe the other way around then. But I think Grant Hanley.
But Davies was rested the game before that. So I think the rotations happened. But again, it's all subjective. You know, we're only guessing. So what I've done, I've gone for Allsop in goal. I've gone for Laird, Clara, Davies, and I've gone for Lee at left back. Cochrane. Because Lee started, didn't he? Was it the Crawley game? So, but then he wasn't even in the squad for the last game we just played.
The seven subs again, strikes.
Yeah,
Chris Davies going to pick us up.
Yeah, but I think that he'll want to see a bit more of Lee now, so that he did all right when he started.
Yeah.
So I think he'll give Cochrane another rest, just to not to give Cochrane a rest, but more to see a bit more of Lee.
Yeah.
To see him. So so just to reiterate my back line, Allsop in goal. I've gone for Laird. Could easily be Samstead, but I think it'll be Laird, Clara, Davies, and Lee.
Okay, and I'll go Allsop, Cochrane, Hanley. I'll go Ben Davies. I think he might give Clara another rest. My gut maybe, and I'll go for Samstead at right back as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So midfield, the central two, I've gone for Paik and Iwata, but I could easily see Leonard playing in this, and he'll have Paik and Iwata for the Cambridge game. Yeah. So if Leonard does come in, I think he'll take the place of Paik. Mm-hmm. So, but I have. I'll stick with what I put on my selection. I've gone with Paik and Iwata. Start this game. I've gone for Anderson on the left. Dowell on the right, Williamson at number 10 and Stansfield at number 9.
Yeah. I've gone for exactly the same apart from the sixes. So I've swapped out Paik and Iwata and I've gone for Mark Leonard and Taylor Garden-Hitman.
Okay, took them both out. That's very rarely happened, you know that, don't you?
Yeah, I know. I'm just throwing a curveball in because every time I try and predict a safe Chris Davies bet, I always get it wrong. So it's almost like the last two games this evening, even as a fan, I'm just going to throw some curveballs out there. And you're right, that has very rarely happened. And I think actually I'm almost criticising myself a little bit here by saying if we take those two out, we lose a bit of that core structure, don't we? Because they are so cemented in the team now, Paik and Iwata. However, I'll stand by it.
I think if the points record wasn't on,
maybe.
I think he would probably do that.
Yeah.
But we've still got something to play for,
and
you might as well go for it. So I've gone for both of them in my starting lineup, but I could easily see Len coming in.
Yeah.
Taylor Garden-Hitman will definitely be on the bench because if he doesn't start, he'll be on the bench because he's so flexible. He can go in lots of different positions.
So you think Paik and Iwata as the starter, but if not, it could be Iwata and Leonard?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Iwata and Leonard is a good bet, actually. Yeah. But again, just to be a bit, not controversial, but just to mix it up, I'll go for Taylor Garden-Hitman and Leonard. Okay. And again, exactly the same with your 3 and striker. I've gone for Anderson, Dowell, Williamson and Sansford in the 9. Okay. So exactly the same for the front 4.
Yeah, I think Williamson had a better game against Mansfield, didn't he? And he obviously got his goal and his assist, and hopefully that's why I think he'll keep him in the team. Yeah. He does anyway. I think he seems to be a first choice for Chris Davies. Really likes Williamson, so I think he'll definitely be in that number 10. Okay, and then it's just a score prediction, really. So do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I've got it on the tip of my tongue, so I'll say it first. I'm actually going to go for a repeat of the FA Cup game. I'm going to go for Blackpool 1, Birmingham City 2.
Okay, I've gone close to that. I've gone for 1-3. 3-1 to the Blues. They're pretty potent and they're at home and they have got a good chance of scoring.
They can score goals, Blackpool.
They can score goals, which is why I think that we could potentially concede in this game. It'd be nice if we can keep a clean sheet, but I've gone for 3-1 to the Blues. You've gone 2-1.
2-1, yeah.
Okay. That's it then. So, any other comments, Matt, before we finish?
No, just sorry, excuse me, still losing my voice a little bit. No, just again, excited to get these last 2 games ticked off just in terms of to reset in the summer. Hopefully we get a full-on EFL record. That would be the cherry on top of what has been an incredible season. But let's not take it for granted. We move to Blackpool. They're going to give us a game. Hopefully, we can get those 3 points.
Absolutely, and we'd love to know what you think, Blues fans. As always, love to hear your comments. You know, who you think might be in the starting lineup, maybe a score prediction or anything else that's on your mind. Then add a comment below our video. If you're a Blackpool fan and you'd like to leave a comment, then please do. We do welcome comments from supporters of the away team, so more than happy for you to add your comments below and let us know a little bit about your team and maybe some of the things we've asked about your team. Pop a comment below. It's always great to hear from away fans. If you did like this podcast, as always, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't checked us out on our social media channels already, then pop along to our X page and our Instagram page. And if you like to watch or listen to your podcast on Spotify, you'll find us on there as well. And you'll see the handles appearing on the screen for all of these channels right now. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and you'd like to, then please press that big red subscribe button. And if you want notifications, there's a little bell icon next to the subscribe button. If you press that, then every time we publish a new podcast, then you'll get a notification on your phone, device, laptop, whatever you use. So that's it for this podcast. Hope you've enjoyed it. Myself and Matt will see you on the next one, all about Birmingham City.